welcome everybody. My name is Chrissy and today I thought I'd get on and do a prediction reading for May, the month of May. So I'm going to just close my eyes. This is Penny. She's in a playful mood again this morning and I'll just see what comes up for the month of May. So, oops. So bear with me and we'll see what comes up. I'll just get started. Now in May, I'm getting that things are collapsing. They're almost showing me like the scene of like a rubbish tip and dogs are scurrying through the rubbish. So it's almost like they've got, they're showing me like sniffer dogs. You know how when sniffer dogs have to search things out and they have to find evidence and this kind of thing. That's the image they're showing me, is there's these sniffer dogs checking through rubbish and trying to find little bits of information. So I do feel in May there might be a lot of a lot of digging, a lot of what's the word? A lot of trying to get to the bottom of information. So when they're showing me these dogs, they're almost like if you think of drug detection dogs at the airport, how they can sniff things out. Well, that's the kind of thing they're showing me. But it's showing me that they're going through like garbage. So it's like old bits of, if you think of a garbage tip, all the rubbish, the dogs are kind of running over everything and they're sniffing out all the detail and they're looking for the evidence. That's what they're looking for. So in May, I feel like there's going to be some evidence overturned. And this would be unreal, wouldn't it? But this is what I'm saying. They're picking out the detail now. And that's why they're showing me like the dogs, because when you think of dogs, they have that unreal nose and they have a way of tracking things down. So this is kind of the energy that they're giving me, and the symbolism is the getting to the detail of the evidence now. So, you know, this could be around the Pfizer data that's coming out. They could be digging for more information. This could be also politically. I feel like there could be people have done things for political gain. This isn't just in one avenue. That's why they're showing me like the garbage tip and all the rubbish and all the debris and everything that the dogs are kind of searching through, because they're saying it's not just one area. So they're showing me like more than like 5 dogs searching through this rubbish. So that means there's a lot of different areas that now they're looking for the evidence. So evidence around political gain, evidence around evidence around what was I saying? Evidence. Oh gosh, sometimes I just go so blank. The information comes so quickly. Sometimes I can't get it out. Penny, she's licking my desk. Yes, the evidence around like big pharma and the hiding of truths and the stuff and the information that we've not been given. Because as we know, we can't really trust that the perfect information is coming out. Someone highlighted that the other day as well, that, you know, they have lied before, and we know government lies as well. So what's to stop them from lying? But these are the kind of areas that I'm getting. They're looking for the detail and they're looking for evidence. So I feel like there's going to be evidence. And look, I'm not going to actually say the words, but I'm going to, where the source of the virus was that really the source? And I think there could be a lot of evidence coming up around this kind of investigation. And there's evidence also around, obviously, people who have had adverse reactions. And I've already said that a lot of these support groups are putting together the evidence of the dates, the times when they had reactions. This is really building in May. There's definitely that kind of thing. So this is why I'm getting shown that, oh, Penny, she's so tired. This is why I'm getting shown the evidence, because the evidence is going to be big, but it's going to be in all areas. It could even be like over in America there. I know you're going through the Biden event at the moment. I won't say too much about that because YouTube checks everything. But there could be more evidence that comes out around these kind of things. I don't think you can hope in Canada that much will come out about Trudeau. He's too good at covering his tracks. So definitely May is going to be a time of lots of like tidbits coming out. It's like they're gathering evidence. So these dogs are grabbing the evidence, for example, in the garbage piles and the garbage tip, and they're bringing it back, and then it's all being put into big bags and sealed as evidence for the investigators and things like this. So, but it's evidence in all different avenues. It's not just one area. This is evidence in a lot of different areas. Now, oh, Penny's a bit restless. I'll just see what else we get today, but definitely May's going to be a month of a lot of sort of hard, concrete evidence coming out, and that's what we want. We want some things that are kind of concrete. Like I've said in my past videos, we've had a lot of... we don't really have that factual evidence that the reset is actually coming, but we may start to get even more detail around this as well, I think, in May. So fingers crossed that starts to get highlighted to people soon. I'll just see what else we get today. Now, I'm getting a lot around the transport industry. So this is really globally. I feel like there's a lot of changes that are going to happen in the transport industries. We've had a lot of strikes here in Australia, and I did predict that we would get bus and train strikes, and we did. But this is globally. This is about not only the cost of fuel and these kind of things, but this is all about... They're trying to bring in everything about speed. So they want, and this is probably part of the agenda, but what they want is everything to be fast and efficient. So life is going to become about efficiency. So I think we already know that's happening. You know, if we look at somewhere like Japan, I think they've got the bullet trains and all this kind of thing, and life's very fast. Well, this is kind of what they're wanting to implement here in Australia, down the East Coast. They're wanting to implement this kind of thing. But I feel like there's a lot of countries where the rail systems and the transportation is going to be really upgraded. There's going to be a lot of money pouring into these systems because they want maximum efficiency. They want things to move with ease. And I'm definitely getting that in May. A lot of things might start unfolding there around transportation. And a lot of this is kind of around the grid too. So it's all... I just see mass movement and mass change around transport. So that's something that's going to be happening really globally. There's going to be a lot of shifts. And as we know, it's kind of part of that reset agenda, because they're wanting to implement their sort of smart cities, and they've got their plans in place. Like if you went to each state around the world, they've probably got a plan, I would say a mapped out blueprint of what they're wanting to implement. And I would say that would even be on paper, to be quite honest. As I know, here we've got the smart rails, or, gosh, and it's all about efficiency. This is about getting things moving fast, getting people from A to B faster. So it's all that sped up lifestyle. I feel like in May that's going to become a lot more obvious about changes in the transportation. I'll just see what else we get today. They keep giving me like a mockingbird. Now this is very interesting, isn't it? Because whenever I think of a mockingbird, I think of the movie The Hunger Games. Like they keep saying Mockingbird, Mockingjay. And for anyone who's watched The Hunger Games, Mockingjay was very, very clever, and she had a way of outsmarting the system. She could almost like foresee things before they kind of happened. And she had very good vision. Well, I guess she was like a visionary, but she had good vision, and she could tell with her gut feelings who she could trust and who she couldn't trust. She still doubted things as well, but um, she kind of became this representative figure for her society. And it's probably worth going and watching, actually, the Hunger Games. I think you'd really enjoy it. I only watched it a few months ago. My husband told me to watch it. He said, we're living the Hunger Games. And I was like, what? What's he talking about? It's only 3-part in the series. I think it's on Netflix. But basically, it's about, I won't tell you the ending and like what happens, but it's about society being shut down, and they have the central power, which, as we know, in our world would be the reset agenda that's coming, and the World Economic Forum. But this is how it worked, and each of the country, like the towns rather, were put into districts, basically. And they fought back because they had to use the credit scoring, they had to earn their food, and they had to compete against each other. And it's quite an interesting little series. So they keep giving me the Mockingbird. Now, I guess what they're trying to say to us is that if you're watching this video, we're like the Mockingjays, we're like the Mockingbird. So we're the ones that are kind of fighting back, and we're getting smarter and we're getting clever. We're realizing that by detaching and being more strong and independent, it's giving us kind of those wings to fly. And I think, from some of the comments that you guys have said below, we actually are starting to fly now. We're starting to find our freedom again. We're not even having a lot of fight backs or recently or at the moment, because we're feeling that we're free, and we're actually starting to get on with our life, because the battles are now not ours. We've removed ourselves from those battles. So again, if you think of a bird, for example, the mockingjay, you've risen above these things. You're flying. So I want you to really have that visual in your mind today, that you are very strong and that you are seeing things from above, and you're flying above all the silly nonsense now, because you have everything in a very good and very clear perspective. And what that means is that you've got the smarts, because you're listening to your gut, you're listening to your own sensitivities, you have a really good awareness of your surroundings and what's going on out there. And that's what the message is that they're giving me today, is that you are a very strong character, and that's why you've been chosen. It's like in the Hunger Games, Mockingjay, like she was chosen, like, because of her gifts and skill. For some reason, it's that divine timing and that divine guidance led her to stand up for the people. And that's what you guys are doing, by spreading your information, by staying strong and keeping your power as an individual. That helps to prop other people up, because when they're starting to lose traction, and when they're starting to lose their voices, and when they're starting to feel downtrodden, they will look to you as that sort of, or kind of representative, but as a person who they can come to if they have any worries or questions. Or this is the kind of the message for you watching this video today, is that just stay strong. Because it's like the old saying, like if somebody's really sick or depressed or something, and then you're hanging around them and then you become depressed and sad, no one can help each other. But if you stay strong and in your power, you can help lift that person out, because you're in a stronger mental state. And that's kind of the analogy they're giving me today, is that don't allow your energy and that to be taken from you and to be zapped of that energy. You need to stay in your personal power. And that's why they're giving me that Mockingjay Hunger Games analogy today, because you are very smart and you have switched on. And I'm not saying in an egotistical way. This is not anything like that at all. And you know that's not what I'm saying. I mean in a place of great humility. But you have realized that when you feel better as a person and you do focus on the things that make you happy, you become more evolved, and you become a person who shines that light and that people look for. It's that beacon, the beacon in the darkness. And that's what I'm saying to you today. Like the Hunger Games, look, go watch it. If you haven't seen it, go and watch it. It's very, very interesting. It's very interesting, actually, the similarities. I mean, it's more like a game, obviously. It's a little bit more extreme. But, you know, this is kind of what we can relate to. The credit scoring, earning food, things like this, the cost of living, everybody's just put in their place. They have no voices. Very similar, running very parallel to the lives that we've been currently living. So look, I think that's really the message today, is just to really keep focused on the things you love, find your passions, your gifts, stay strong, have great humility, and they're the messages for you watching this video today. Now I'm going to see what else we get today. Now they're also showing me like making your bed. So that's something that I've always done myself, is I like to start the day by making the bed. Now this is just what they're giving me as an example. When you make your bed, it's like you can start your day fresh. If you leave your bed all crumpled up, it's like you've never got up and you've never sort of faced the day properly. So that's just me. I know a lot of you out there are probably a lot like me. They're showing me that you've got to really straighten that bed out, no wrinkles, have it all tidy, and this is a representation of starting your day. If you can start your day with that clear energy, clear mind, clean slate, you're going to have a much better sort of day moving forward, and it allows things to be clarified in your life. And that's what they're kind of saying to me with the bed analogy. If you leave things all bedraggled and just all in a big pile in your life, that's how you're going to feel. So that's what they're kind of saying to me. You've got to get, it's kind of like getting your ducks in a row. If you've got your ducks all over the place, you can't kind of control them. But when you get your ducks all in a row, it's the saying that you might relate to overseas. They can just follow each other, and it's much more organized. And I think that's what the message is. You know, if we make our bed first thing in the morning, and a lot of us try and teach our kids to do that, you're much more organized for the rest of the day. So this is what I'm saying about relating that, making your bed in the morning, to your life. Because if you get your ducks in a row and you're more organized, it is much easier to have a smoother path in your journey. So don't leave things in a sort of shambles or a chaos. You've got to sort of get, it's almost like getting clarity and neatening things up in your own life as well. So yeah, that's what I'm definitely getting today. I'm definitely getting get your ducks in a row. So this could be about looking at all aspects of your life. For example, looking at your finances and getting them all into an order. Perhaps, you know, locking in a lower interest rate, because we know that finance is going to move towards the second half of this year. May is going to be a great time as well for sorting out family matters, being around people again, building bridges. This is the kind of thing about tidying things up, ironing out the creases. Again, with the bed, you know, you don't leave all wrinkles in your bed. You smooth it all out with your hands. Well, this is about your life. You've got to kind of smooth out any bumps, things that you haven't addressed. Maybe in May, you might have some bills that are overdue. Try and get them cleared up so they're out of your mind. This is kind of what they're saying to me about get all your ducks in a row. So May's going to be a really good time for getting yourself really organized. I talk a lot about decluttering. Perfect time for doing that. Keep going through that process, because decluttering helps you emotionally a lot. So this is what I'm getting. Focus on the right things as well. So in May, focus on getting your thoughts into the right headspace. There's so much great information, like even on YouTube now. You can go and do great meditations. In the past, I've done a great guy called Paul McKenna. He does hypnosis. I think he's in the UK or England. And he's absolutely got some wonderful hypnosis videos. But these are good hypnosis. This is different to mass psychosis. And he teaches you how to be more positive, and he builds up your confidence if you find you have been knocked around by this last couple of years. I do find Paul McKenna is very, very gifted, and he can help to switch your subconscious mind. So that's another example of getting your ducks in a row, because all these things are making you feel stronger. Start making moves forward and getting yourself healthy. You know, sometimes it's just taking that first step to improve your life, rather than sitting around and hiding and giving up. Don't give up. We know a lot of the information's coming out. That's really positive. But if you feel yourself slipping, maybe just like I said, go and watch something like that, like a Paul McKenna. I do recommend him. When I was suffering a lot of depression, and I have myself suffered suicidal thoughts many years ago. I have a lot of videos if anybody's interested in watching those. But I did Paul McKenna, and I know that it helped me a lot, just with the positivity, because it's very easy to get lost in this journey of life sometimes. So there are things that can help you as well. There's a few great videos. There's one called Samadhi, and there's another one, I think it's called Finding Joe on YouTube. And look, I always believe that The Secret and manifesting isn't a bad thing. The video The Secret, it's great as well. It's pretty basic, but look, there's nothing wrong with putting your energy on the things that you want. I totally agree with that when it comes to manifesting. So May's going to be that time too of just, you know, putting your energy on things that you do want to happen in your life. It's very easy to get caught up in those dramas and the things we don't want, you know, like, oh, I'm sick of looking at Ukraine and Russia, and, you know, we start talking like this, and the whole virus, another variant and all that. But if you don't want that, try and focus on something else. Try and give yourself something to look forward to. I'm going away at the end of this week, for example, just for a few days, and I'm going to take my daughter down to the zoo here. She really loves tigers. She's like 13, and she's really obsessed with tigers. And she can be a bit of a tiger, like teenage girls can be. But, you know, that's something for me to look forward to. We're going away for just 3 or 4 days, and my son's looking after my dogs. So this is the kind of thing you've got to do in May. You've got to give yourself purpose. You've got to find your passions, and you've got to have things to look forward to and focus on those things. And that's about getting your ducks in a row. So when you're making your bed in the mornings, I want you to really think about that when here I am making my bed, and this is setting up my day to have that cleaner slate, and I'll be able to like really move forward in my life as well. And look, that's just a comparison about ironing things out in your life and getting your ducks in a row. But there's so many avenues that we all need to do that, I think, and sometimes we forget because we kind of get stuck. And it's like almost like we're injured, like because we get a little bit uncertain about moving forward. But what you do is you get your thoughts, you get things out of your mind. So, for example, paying those bills, or doing something you've been meaning to do, you know, declutter a fridge or clean your fridge out, or just anything. It doesn't matter what it is. But if that's been in your mind, that's been stored in your mind, and you keep thinking about it. So what you want to do in May is really move through those things and get them sort of behind you. And it's like, you know, sweeping things through. That's what I'm definitely getting in May, is start to really get your ducks in a row now, because that's how you find that clearer path moving forward. And go and check out some of those videos that I said on YouTube, because there's some brilliant videos. That Finding Joe's really good too. It's about finding yourself as a person and building your inner strength. It's sounded cute. It's a little guy dressed up as a knight with a sword, and it's just cute about him finding his own strength through his adventures. So I think you'd actually enjoy that one, Finding Joe. I'll just see if there's any last messages today. Yeah, I still get in May, there could be a lot of griefs and sadness about, and I do believe it's still about our old lives. We know life moving forward is going to be different. We've already accepted that, and I think if you're watching my channel, you know life has changed. Gosh, it's changed so dramatically for pretty much all of us, and we've had to take our lives kind of back to basics. But if anything, it sounds like a lot of you are embracing it. Gosh, there's people cooking new recipes, and people are getting out and about, and they're having fun, and they're finding that joy again inside them, and they're lighting up their own spirit. And this is brilliant. This is what we want. So look, as much as we have grief and sadness for our old lives, and I know that people might have lost people too, and that can be very painful. But in May, it's about pushing through that grief and getting to the other side. Look, grief is a process, and losing your old life, I know that's been hard because I've felt that as well here. But you know, sometimes, like I say, positive outcomes can come from negative experiences. I always talk about that. Things can look so challenging at the time, and then looking back over your life, you go, no, because that made me stronger, or that took me to another place that I needed to go. So in May, I want you to hold that in your thoughts as well, that you're being led to where you're needing to go. And it's not all just doom and gloom and life is over as we knew it. It's not all about that. Sometimes this can actually open us up and open our lives up and make us feel happier. So that's something you've got to move through definitely in May, is move through the grief and the past hurts and all these emotions. May's going to be that time of putting them all behind you now. That's very important in May. So look, I'm going to leave it at that today. I think that's a lot to deal with, isn't it? We've got evidence. We've got go and watch the Hunger Games if you haven't watched it, or go and watch some little videos on YouTube about the Hunger Games. You get a bit of an understanding of what that was about. It was about society being squashed, basically, and being run. I think they called it the capital. We can call ours the elites. And we know how that... Oh, gosh. Anyway, go and check some of those shows out that I told you. Have a wonderful May. Look, we're at the turning point of the year now, so I think it's always onward and upward from here on in. So much information has come out. If you're watching these videos, and I know that that's what we're really wanting. We're just wanting the truth to come out, and we're wanting for these things to kind of be heard and be acknowledged. So hold that. It is happening. Like I said, it's a process. It doesn't just happen overnight. It could go into 2023. But in the meantime, you've got to stay strong. You've got to stay in that energy, and you've got to be the beacon of light. So keep shining out there if you're watching this, and enjoy the rest of your Easter. Take care, everybody. I know this is a bit of a battle. I am shooting this on the 18th. That's why I'm saying Happy Easter. I'm just getting in ahead for May. So take care. Stay strong. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. Hit the bell notification and the like buttons as well. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye from Australia. Take care, everybody.